Hello and welcome back to Botania and our smithing series. We're going to be going into a couple of hideouts in the first part of this episode, and we're going to try and see whether I can maybe make my character just that little bit more effective, because I've actually thought to myself, wait a minute, I'm a two-handed user, right? I'm a two-handed user, and someone actually pointed this out. My javelins were weighing me down by such a dramatic amount that I was literally running at a considerably reduced pace, and I personally don't like that. I personally feel like if I'm going to be playing with a two-handed weapon, I need to be able to be a little bit agile, you know, a little bit agile, a little bit quick on my feet. And Diggory, he was digging his, well, if you'll excuse the slight wordplay there, digging Diggory, yeah, you know, digging his heels into the ground a little bit too much because, of course, I was extremely weighed down by my thrown weapons, because obviously I have increased the stacks, and well, they're very long as well, so it definitely makes a difference. So sorry, I just managed to hit someone there. That was not very good, was it? No, that was not very good. I was actually hoping that I'd be able to get a little bit more thrown weapon proficiency, because I only need one more point to get 100, so it would be quite nice if I could make that happen. I don't fight duels with brigands, and I'm going to try and get, well, some damage on there. No, never mind. Okay, so this weapon I think is actually pretty cool. I think what I'm going to do is I will go to some Botanian marketplaces. I've been attempting to look around and make sure that my villages are perfectly fine, by the way, as well. I have been waiting for a little bit of time just to try and make sure that everything is okay. I will take the prisoner just because I'm going to sell them, but I'm not going to take any other units just for the sheer fact that I don't really like doing that in a themed series. And oh, look at that, Sturgia has actually declared war against us. I personally feel like that is a bad idea for them. I really do. I don't know why they would decide to do that, to be honest. I think that that is going to result in many, many deaths on the Sturgian side. Although it could be okay, dependent on how many people we're actually at war against. Let's actually just have a brief look here. Right. Yeah, now this is exactly the reason why I thought to myself, maybe it's not such a good idea to claim Praven for myself, because you can see here it is so dramatically far away from the rest of Botania's territory, and that indeed does have a bit of a drawback. Quite a significant one at that. Anyway, yeah, I'm just going to go back into Praven here. So yes, as I was saying, what I'm actually going to do is I will try to go back to Botania territory if I have any opportunity to do so, because let's face it, I'm kind of in a bit of a in-between sort of stance at the moment, because I want to, on the one hand, defend all my villages, but on the other hand, I want to be able to expand my, well, I don't really want to, I mean, my territory can't really expand unless I have the ability to actually take things myself. But what I wanted to say was basically go to the marketplace in Botania, buy some kind of cool weapon that I'd be able to use to smelt it down and maybe gain some additional parts, because a bunch of people have actually mentioned in the comments that it would be kind of cool to use a Falk's blade, and I'm not entirely sure if I have the blade for that. I don't think I do, so it would be quite cool if we could see something about that. Anyway, I'm just going to sell these two things just for a little bit of extra cash. And yeah, as you can no doubt tell, I have taken off one set of javelins. These things are super, super heavy because of the weapon length. I think I might need to make some more javelins and literally just make a little bit shorter, because the weight of them is something that I did not take into account. And that's actually an extremely good point. It is a very good point that we should not have such lengthy weapons, because that does increase the weight of them by a pretty considerable margin. So let's actually just take a quick look here. What does she actually have in her army? Because this is actually Barney's wife, if you remember the original series of Bannerlord. So we might have a bit of a problem here. Alright, so it's 82 versus, well, 74, I believe. Yeah, that might not be too good. That might not be too good. Anyway, what I'm actually also doing is I'm going to be attempting to recruit some more Botanian units and then turn them into well, ranged as much as I possibly can. Unfortunately, the main baseline units that Britannia has access to in terms of a ranged solution are mostly skirmishers. So that is a bit of a problem, of course, because if they are indeed skirmishers, they don't have bows or any other kind of long-range, efficient weapons to utilize. So it is a bit difficult. It is a bit difficult. Yeah, actually, also someone mentioned that it's nice when I get eliminated because that means that my units can actually start doing things that are a little bit more exciting to watch than just standing there. And yeah, that's actually a good point. That is actually a very, very good point. Unfortunately, the most efficient way of fighting, for the most part, is actually just leaving your people in a shield wall formation, and only charging them when it really kind of gives you more of an advantage, if you know what I mean. It kind of, at the moment, just leaving them in shield wall formation is more effective and more efficient than charging them, of course. So, you know, if that's kind of annoying to you, then I apologize. But that's just the efficient way to do things at the moment. Because you can see here that being able to do some damage to these guys. Ah, this sword is actually really nice. I like it. I like it. Okay, so let's tell these guys to charge in now and clean them up a little bit. Because as you can see, we've now started to rout them. And that's when we want to go a bit aggressive. You know, that's when we want to go aggressive and we want to make sure that they know what is up. Yes, there we go. Okay, I'm moving around pretty quickly, actually, which I quite like. Oh, I like this sword. I like this sword. I think that this sword is actually really nice. I think it is doing very, very well for us. And I'm pretty happy that I created something like this. Okay, I've got to be careful here. Oh. Ooh, that was close. Did you see that? That guy with the crossbow was like, ooh, point blank range. No, no, no. Not gonna happen, sir. There we go. Take him out as well. We have done so much damage in this particular battle. And that's also something that you gotta bear in mind. I feel like when you're lighter on your feet, especially when you have a significant amount of athletic skill, it's going to make you much more mobile. Of course, we have experienced that previously where we were, you know, in the bandit playthrough, where we had a two-handed weapon user, and I didn't really take note of the weight at all at that point. But also, I was not a smithing character or anything like that, so I wasn't making my own weapons. But personally, I really like this weapon. I feel like this weapon is like I thought in the previous episode, I actually said, hey, this is a pretty decent balance, because I thought to myself, yeah, how about, you know, going for something with about 110 length and trying to maximize a little bit of the speed and so on and so forth, just kind of making it a bit more balanced in regards to the whole stat thing, instead of just being like, oh, let me just put all the best possible stuff on there in terms of, you know, high tier parts. And when you put high tier parts on, it does make the weapon very damaging, but of course it doesn't really do much else. It's kind of a bit difficult to use at that point. But anyway, I'm just going to let Liena go, because of course we have a history with her, apart from the fact that, well, I kind of want the relation instead of anything else. So pretty happy with this. I will take all the prisoners, even though that is going to put us over the limit. And I will be taking all of... Oh, I've also reached the capacity of my inventory, which is not good. I'm going to need to rush back. Oh, yeah. Rush back, he says. Rush back, he says, at 1.3 speed. Did you see that? I was literally so incredibly slow. And it seems like we have made peace with Vlandia. Okay. That is actually perfect for us. That is actually perfect. I'm kind of surprised that they decided to do that. But anyway, we will sell all of this. We'll sell all the armor. And I think I'm probably going to sell all of this as well, apart from the thrown weapons. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, sell all of that. My capacity is still exceeded because I have just looted so many weapons. So I'm just going to go and smelt a couple of things, because no doubt there will be some new parts. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Nice. Got some... Ooh, this is a nice weapon. That's an Azurai sword. 4 new parts from smelting this thing. Oh yes, a fine steel Cascara blade. That sounds fun. And then we also have a Vlandian heavy lance. We have a veteran warrior's axe, ridged arming sword. Cool, cool. Oh, look at this. We've actually got even more stuff right here. That's crazy. Well, yeah, I'm also going to say something, by the way. If you would actually like to see me make something, then by all means let me know, and I'll see if I can. I'll see if I can do it, because obviously I've just been making two-handed swords for the most part. But if you'd like to see me make something else, I mean, obviously maces are not really gonna work out too well. I mean, I've tried to make maces in the past. Oh, wait a minute, we do have a steel mace handle right here. Decorated steel mace handle. Ooh, that's looking pretty fun. Yeah, but maces, as I've said before, they're not exactly the best. So, yeah. But what about two-handed polearms? Ooh, we actually do have a pommel on the end of this thing. Look at that. What a wonderfully ornate pommel. I'm obviously being funny. This is not very ornate at all. What is it? It's a steel butt. Yes, it is a steel butt. Good. Very, very nice. Okay, what about a two-handed mace? I still can't make two-handed maces. Throwing axes? Nope, still can't make the throwing axes. Two-handed axes. Let's have a look at... You know how I love bardishes. Do you know how I love bardishes? I think you might. I think you might. If you've been around on my channel for a while, then you know I love bardishes. And this is a two-handed weapon, which I could theoretically use. So let's actually have a look here. All right, that increases the length. Okay, so the length is currently 107. The swing speed is 88 because, of course, it's an axe. Axes usually are slower than swords in almost every way. So what if I make it... No, that's the thing. Look at this. If I make the weapon reach super, super short... Oh, no. That's pretty awful, isn't it? Okay, yes, that is actually pretty awful. Okay, what about if I make it just that little bit... 110, swing speed 87. Ooh, that's not very good in my opinion. That is not very good. I could try to do something a little bit better here. I mean, these ones over here, that's 150 length. That's 120, 116, short leather wrapped great axe handle. I like the mahogany. I like the way the mahogany looks, actually. Yeah, I'm not sure whether this is going to work, but let's try it and see whether it does anything, because it's unlikely, isn't it? Oh, look at that. We actually gained some handling. Nice. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. All right, so let's have a look here. What am I going to use? What about Deathbringer? Someone gave me the name Deathbringer. I'm not entirely sure whether to do it with 2 words or 1 word. I think because it's bringing death, it should be 2 separate words rather than someone that is the Deathbringer. So I suppose we'll just go for something like that. We didn't get any new parts, which is actually kind of a shame. Someone actually also mentioned that it might be an idea for me to create other kinds of weapons, because that might actually provide more unlocks than if I wouldn't do that. So unfortunately, not this time. That didn't happen this time. Okay, so what about just making one of these random axes? This looks really... What? Look at the blade. This blade looks super weird. Is it just me? Look, that's more of a standard looking axe. That looks very, very weird to me. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Anyway, let's just make this and see whether we can maybe just unlock some new parts or something like that. Let's call this, it's not going to be anything good in my opinion. So I guess I'll just call it Coin Magnet or something. Maybe it's going to actually be something good to sell. Probably not at this case. Okay, so I'm actually going to be making some new javelins. And I'm going to try and reduce the weight of them by a pretty significant amount. So let's see if we can do that. This increases the damage. That reduces the damage. Okay, I'm just going to keep it roundabout in the middle. Let's actually just see here real quick. Okay, so that's Thamaskeen. So that has much more length, and it basically doesn't change the damage whatsoever. So I'm pretty happy with leaving it at the fine steel leaf spearhead. I think that's pretty good. And we can also put this on it, which increases its length but does not increase its weight at all. That actually looks kind of cool in my opinion. I feel like that looks pretty cool. So we're just going to leave all the sliders, by the way, at about the same that we had beforehand. Okay, there we go. And there we go. What? That's it? But it's 1, isn't it? That's the reason, because the stack is going to be so much more. So if I... yeah, that's going to be a bit problematic. So let me actually just see here real quick. Let me actually just go and do... Maybe I should just make them really, really short? I mean, how much does that actually do, though? That doesn't do anything for the missile damage. Oh, it does a little bit when you reduce this. But this doesn't do anything to the weight itself. So I could basically just leave that. Can I reduce the weight even more? I can? No, this is actually the lightest, I think. I'd like to use this, to be honest. I think that would be super fun to use. But I guess I'll just make this and see what happens. And we're going to call it... what are we going to call it? I have no clue. What about... what about... Bearsworth. Bearsworth. There we go. Oh, there we go. We actually unlocked something. Nice. Cool. Okay. Well, okay. That will be it for the smithing, at least for the moment. We might be doing some a little bit later on, but I wanted to try and see whether I can maybe make something. This is actually pretty good in terms of its selling price, and I don't really mind about it being a little more, a little bit less damaging, shall I say. But bear in mind that look at the weight. The weight is not really diminished that much, but I guess it makes a little bit of a difference. Maybe, not really, right? Not really. Okay. Well, let's go into the smithy here, and I'm just going to smelt a bunch of stuff, I suppose, and try and reduce the amount of carrying capacity that we have. Alright, so I've cleared out my inventory just a little bit. I think I might have to do some selling of some stuff, but I kind of wanted to see what we can do here with our various traits that we've unlocked so far. And we can get +5 to party size. Basically doesn't make any difference, in my opinion. 10% more damage against shields, that doesn't sound very good. Eviscerator, that sounds really good in my opinion. 30% more morale loss, yes, give me that, thank you. And let's actually take a look at the Deathbringer, because you can see here, this looks pretty cool, I gotta say. I feel like it looks pretty cool, but it might be... I mean, that's the thing. Can You Dig It is currently providing us the Speed Basher trait. It's currently giving us that benefit, whereas Deathbringer is not going to do that. Which, I gotta say, is a little bit problematic. So I'm going to use it nevertheless, just because I think it will be a lot of fun to see exactly what's going on with that. But I'm not entirely sure if we're going to actually get the opportunity to use it that much, because it is a very low handling weapon, as two-handed axes generally tend to be. And otherwise, I'm going to be making my way through Vlandian territory now, because, well, we're at peace with them, thankfully. So I don't really have to worry about them too much. And now, what we can do... Oh, look at that, there's another hideout there. But yeah, I'm going to go into this village right here, because this is actually a Botanian village, technically. So I'm just going to be recruiting some more units of theirs. And we did actually end up losing quite a few in that battle with Liena, but we did actually give ourselves a pretty significant amount of renown and things from that. Oh, look at this. We're actually being attacked by someone from Sturgia. I'm kind of surprised that that's actually happening right now. I would not have expected them to come all the way down here. Because if you see where the Sturgians actually are, they're all the way over here. Look at this. They should really be concentrating on defending their own lands, shouldn't they? Because at the moment, it doesn't seem like that's a particularly good idea to just leave it. Have they already raided this? No, it seems like it's okay. So it seems like they just walked on. Okay, hello. Okay, so what does he have? Alright, so he's got some Oathkeepers. These guys are pretty harsh. Oathkeepers are, in my opinion, some of the better units that you're going to be finding from a minor faction. They're pretty decent at what they do. And we're going to get some, as I said, we're going to get some more ranged units. I should really just sell all of these guys, shouldn't I? Yes, I really should. Okay, well, let's have a look. He's engaging some sea raiders. Thanks very much for getting rid of the rabble in the countryside, sir. Yes, it seems like he's doing some weird stuff. Anyway, I'm going to go and see if I can sell my prisoners. Here we go. Okay, so we do have some other companions here. Do I want to get any of them? No, probably not. Get him. There we go. We got him. All right, so this is going to be probably one of the most difficult fights that we have so far seen, mainly because we are completely even with him, and as we have so far seen as well in other series, having an army that is entirely composed out of infantry for the most part is not a good idea. It really isn't a good idea at all. So I'm very much hoping, because this is one of my favorite battlefields, that we should have a pretty easy time of maybe utilizing our cavalry a little bit. I do have 14 cavalry, which I think is pretty decent, but this is of course the first time I'm using a two-handed axe, so we might have a bit of a problem here. I mean, not really the first time. I have used a two-handed axe in the past, but it hasn't really gone too well for us. I'm not entirely sure why I'm trying to block against javelins. That's probably not the best idea, is it? But yes, anyway. Hopefully my archers will be able to, my very limited amounts of archers will be able to deal with the enemy cavalry coming in. Oh, nice! They're killing their horses really, really well. Well, there you go. There you go. I was actually hoping that we wouldn't charge in now. We're going to end up losing so many units because the AI is not very good at controlling them. I know someone actually said that they think that the AI is better than I am at controlling the troops. And yeah, sometimes they definitely will be, but most of the time they're just going to throw units away, and it's going to be a pretty significant bloodbath. But let's see what happens, actually. Let's see what happens. This will be a good test to see if the AI can handle a battle from the very beginning without me actually doing anything. I would be very interested to see. It seems as though the AI from the enemy side is also telling them to charge in, which I gotta say is probably not the best idea. Yeah, but wow. Okay, apparently my tier of unit is so incredibly high that we're able to eliminate most of them in the very quick first seconds of the match. But here's the thing. Do you see them using tactics? That was the main point that I wanted to try and make here, because these guys are literally just charging in. And let me tell you something. If I charged in, I would never hear the end of it. I would have every single person in the comments being like, "Why are you charging in? That's an idiot move. You shouldn't charge in." You know, because generally charging in is not considered that good to do, unless obviously you have an overwhelming power advantage. But as we could tell from the combat strength initially, our power was pretty much equal with these guys. So, you know, there's that. So, yeah, there you go. I'm actually very, very surprised that we were able to win that so easily. But we did, look at this. I actually ended up losing 12 Oathsworn. That's also a reason why I tend to stay relatively stationary in most battles, because I like the enemy to come to us so that we can dictate the flow of battle just that much more. So, yeah, I hope for those of you that are a little bit more into tactics, you might understand that. Okay, so anyway, there you go. 7 skill points. Nice. I like it. I like it. Okay, I will be taking some highwaymen. Actually, you know what? I'm actually going to take all of these, and I'll just put them in the garrison. That seems like a good plan to me. And we'll take some of the prisoners as well, even though they're going to weigh us down by a considerable amount. I actually do need to go to a nearby village and see if I can buy some horses. And I'm talking about, you know, work horses mostly. Because it seems like none of the villages nearby to where I am. There's a hideout over there. I should probably go over there and see if I can maybe take it out. But yeah, I think at the moment what we're going to do... I didn't even get to try out my axe. Ugh, now I'm super sad about that. Yes, well, I suppose in the next episode we'll probably try out my axe a little bit more. Personally, I really like the sword that we made beforehand, so I think I will probably go back to that anyway. But it's going to be interesting to see either way whether that happens. Okay, so let's buy some mules. I might as well buy some desert horses as well, even though it doesn't really do much for us. And... yeah, I guess I'll sell this. There we go. And what else did I want to do as well? Didn't I want to do something else here? Yes, I wanted to do a little bit of constructing. Yeah, we're getting the militia barracks up and running. We're really slow with construction, even though we have 169. Is it just me that seems like we're really slow? Maybe. Maybe. Anyway, I'm going to sell... actually, most of my prisoners, I actually just want to take a quick look here because I think we have some Battanians. Yeah, we do have one no, actually a couple of Battanians. So I would like to be able to keep those if at all possible. So I will go into the dungeon and we'll manage some prisoners because I'd like to put the Battanians in there. And then they will hopefully get persuaded to join us, potentially. And there we go. I like the Oath Keepers actually quite a lot, even though they seem to get themselves eliminated really, really easily. Okay, so wait a minute. This is the reason, by the way, that they were eliminated super easily in that fight just now. Apparently, Oath Keepers are not that good. I am actually really surprised because I've always thought that Oath Keepers were one of the better minor faction units. But I've apparently never looked at their stats. And look at their stats. They have 180 in athletics. So you know what that makes them good at? Running away. That's it. That's it. That's all that it does. Okay, so yeah, I'm not going to be trying to recruit these. I was actually thinking of trying to recruit them, but that doesn't seem to make much sense at this point, considering they have such a small amount. That is actually crazy. I did not anticipate them only having 180 in athletics. I mean, it's a good amount of athletics, but it really doesn't do anything else for us, does it? Anyway, that will be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.